welcome to my first ever vlog. And the best part about this vlog is I just recorded it like 20 minutes ago, but I had Spotify playing in the background, and I don't think Selena Gomez would kind of appreciate me having her music in my videos. It's fine. Selena, please sponsor me. I'm just kidding. Anyways, so on my very first ever vlog, we're going to be talking about PAX East and taxes for all current and future broadcasters. And a little display note for each of these is it's going to be awkward. I'm not editing any of this. I don't have video software of any kind. And the taxes, the information I have is only the information that has been given to me, and I haven't done any additional research for every state involved, and no other country besides the US is what I'm going to be talking about. That was a really awkward way to say I don't know anything about other countries' tax policies and only barely know anything about the United States. Yeah, American education system, let's go! Psh, but I can tell you how perfectly to get the square root of 69. Just kidding. Anyways, first off, what we're going to be talking about is PAX East. Unfortunately, this year I will not be attending PAX East. I know this is a little late. I'm dropping this information about a month and a half out from the convention itself. I'm just not able to go, guys. Some reasons why I can't go, and a huge reason why, are finances. I can't afford to go, and I'll talk more about this when I start talking about the taxes stuff. I just can't afford to go to this convention in any way, shape, or form, and I'm sorry that it has to be this way, but it does. It hurts me because last year I went to like almost every convention. Some reasons that finances are not going to be there is because I decided last convention that I'm no longer staying with people at conventions. I think that a part of me almost feels like I don't get along with anyone at conventions. Not like I don't get along with anyone, but I don't fit in well with them, and maybe that's because like I partied in high school, and then I went to four-year college, and I partied hardy there too before I graduated, and I almost feel too old to party in this manner. Not like to go out drinking. I can go out with friends and enjoy adult beverage with friends, but I don't want to make out with everyone there. I don't want to take anyone home to sleep with. I'm not trying to look for a fuckboy. Like, I'm just not into that. I don't want to say I'm too old, because a lot of times these people are older than me. I'm just not there mentally, and I've almost never been there mentally. This idea that I want to take people home and like find my strummer sweetheart who's gonna boost me into 5,000 viewers, like that. I'm sorry, this is not for sale for viewers. Like, there is no view count that can be put on my body, and I don't ever want to be put into the situation that I was put into last convention ever again. And by telling myself I'll never stay with other people again, I have learned that that is exactly what I have to do in order to avoid that, and unfortunately that's incredibly fucking expensive. Excuse my language. I was not supposed to curse during this. Whatever. It's super expensive. I can't afford it. There's no way, shape, or form I'll ever be able to afford it, and because of that I'll only be going to one convention, maybe two, a year. I'll still try and hit PAX Prime, but I'm not making any promises as of right now. Another reason why I can't go to PAX East, and a fellow broadcaster of mine by the name of Rotator talked a little bit about this, and it kind of made me think. I announced a few weeks ago that I wanted to go back to full-time streaming, and to do this, to get ahead in the Twitch world, to be back to where I was, because I did used to full-time stream, you have to give up a lot. You can't miss stream days. You can't be sick. You can't just hang out on your couch all day. You can't do that. Every day, every second, every minute, every hour you're not streaming, that is a chance for somebody to unsubscribe to you, and you lose personal channel growth. And when I go to these conventions, I'm going for 5 days at a time, and sometimes more, because you end up, I haven't ever, but you end up getting sick afterwards. I've never gotten sick afterwards. Wash your hands, don't drink after people. But you end up missing 5 days plus from streaming. And last convention, I tried to stream at the convention. Thank you to Intel for allowing me to do that. I streamed there and I still saw this huge subscriber drop because I wasn't streaming at my normal hours. I wasn't playing the games I normally play. There's not as much interaction when you're streaming at the convention because people are walking past you, things are going on, and because of all of these things, I just don't think PAX East is the right convention for me. I'm not mentally or financially prepared for it in any way, shape, or form, and I apologize for that. There are people who wanted to meet me. There are people who I was just dying to see again and to have an awesome karaoke night again with. Like, you guys know who you are. I'm so sorry that I can't do it this year, and I hope that everyone forgives me for that and knows that deep down, when it comes to the bottom line, I'm doing this because I want the stream to grow and I want to come back to you guys and be full-time, and I appreciate you guys so much, and I just want to be able to be here for 40 hours a week again instead of this lackadaisical 12 hours a week, maybe, because of the vet clinic job. Like, I just really want to be back, and I'm hoping that I can get there. And some of you are concerned because when I moved to California, I was full-time, and I was full-time for quite a while after I got to San Diego. But many of you who have watched the stream, I've been streaming for like almost 3 years now, many of you know that I get like pretty serious seasonal depression, and last January it hit hard, and I felt like I didn't ever have anyone to talk to verbally. I wasn't having face-to-face interaction with anyone. I never left my apartment, and that's the whole reason we got this vet clinic job. And while it helped me blossom mentally because I was able to speak with people and to converse and to make friends in a town where I knew no one, it also crippled the stream. I stopped streaming as much because I'm coming back from these 10 to 12 hour work days exhausted. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to put on a show. And when I did stream, I was also losing subs because everyone could tell I just wasn't into it. And I'm hoping that now that I've made this good base in California and I know people here and I found better ways to deal with my depression, that I'm able to go back to full-time streaming and really give back to you guys the way you give to me. Secondly, in this vlog, what I wanted to talk about, besides myself, is myself. I'm just kidding. I am going to start talking about myself, and then I'm going to move to future and current broadcasters and content creators. So we're going to talk about taxes. Talk a little about these taxes. Many of you have come into my channel. Some of you had said something about it. Some of you haven't. Some of you have donated without saying anything. Across my channel right now is potentially the scummiest thing I've ever done on Twitch, and it's this big tax bailout plan. It's helped me pay off my 2014 taxes plan. It's a goal. Many streamers set goals for things, but this one has nothing to do with streaming in the sense that you're not going to get rewarded for this in any way, shape, or form. It's not some new camera with crystal clear, see my facial hair, HD-ness. It's helped me pull myself out of the situation that I put myself in, and that's why I'm making this vlog, because I do not want any future, current broadcaster or content creator, I don't want this to happen to them the way it happened to me. And I was naive and stupid, and I got buffed by the IRS, and that's what happens. And I'm here to kind of try to get you to avoid that if you're watching it, and maybe to shed some light on some of my viewers so they think a little bit more highly of me while I feel like complete shit on the planet underneath your shoe because I have this nasty goal on top of my stream. I can't wait until the day that it's gone, which is coming up closely because I have a meeting with my CPA this week. But we'll start talking a little bit to Twitch broadcasters, content creators, people who are just getting into it, people who are thinking about getting into it. what the big takeaway from all of this is the first thing I'm going to say here. Every sub, every donation you get, every sponsored stream contract you sign, not every, some of them handle a little bit differently, but every sub, every donation you get, you have to pay taxes on. Twitch isn't taking that money out for you. PayPal's not taking that money out for you. Did you make $15,000 last year? Of course you did. But you know what you didn't do? You didn't pay taxes on it. And the IRS will tell you straight up, hey baby, you owe me all of this money. Congratulations. Welcome to the American dream of self-employment. Twitch doesn't give you W-2s. They give you 1099s. You don't get a W-2 because you're considered a contract. You're not an employee. You are a partner. You're contracted to work with them, and in no way, shape, or form are they claiming you as an employee unless you're sitting in that Twitch office or working for them as a Twitch employee. What you need to do is you need to start saving money to pay your taxes back at the end of the year. And I'll talk a little bit more about that, but you also need, and I recommend this to a lot of people, if you have no tax knowledge, clearly, by my first disclaimer when we started the tax conversation, get a CPA. Do not go to H&R Block or some other TurboTax. Don't start filing that shit by yourself, because you're gonna fuck it up. I wasn't supposed to curse. I apologize. You're gonna screw up what you're doing on this tax thing. I went and I found a very reputable CPA in San Diego, and the first thing he told me was, well, we need to look at our options. We need to see what the best licensing fit for you is. Do you want to be an LLC? Should we make an S-Corp? Are you going to claim sole proprietorship? What are you going to do? What's the best for you? Let me run down the numbers and see how it helps you in the end. And there is no cookie-cutter option for this. You have to have a license of some sort, because you're going to have to pay off these self-employment taxes. And only an educated, well-versed tax person can look at your situation, because content creation is such a new thing in the world. They can look at your situation and tell you, regardless, you're making this money and this is how you're making it, but by and by, Uncle Sam sees you as self-employed, and you're going to have to pay taxes accordingly. And depending on what state you live in, the percentage of self-employment tax is different. And I don't know the exact ranges here, so don't take me to court with this stuff, because all in all, somebody on the internet's gonna Google this after they watch this video to tell me how wrong I am about everything I've said. That's fine. But you're gonna owe 35 to 45% back on your self-employment taxes. So that means every donation, every sub you get, play it safe. Just play it safe. If you have the option to play it safe, if you have extra money every month, you need to be putting away 45% of whatever you're getting into a savings account that you're not gonna touch. And this can be hard for some people, myself included. I live paycheck to paycheck. I work at the veterinary clinic, and it doesn't even pay my rent fully. Hello, welcome to San Diego. So glad you moved out here from the South, Kappa. I don't have a savings account. I didn't have a savings account last year either. Last year was really bad. Last year I was crying on stream sometimes because I couldn't pay rent. Last year I was the bane of no money existence. Like, I had to have someone move in to pay half my rent. It was terrible, mainly because I live in a one-bedroom apartment and 2 people aren't supposed to live here. Do your best. Anything that you can put away towards your taxes is $1 more than you had before. And I know it's hard. You're preaching to the choir. I know how hard it is. But if you're not living paycheck to paycheck and you have that option to save that money, you need to. Don't buy that fancy new computer so you can have a streaming PC and a gaming PC. Don't do that. That's like $2,000-$3,000 you could have paid the government back if you had no idea this was coming, and it's coming. Some things that we should also talk about as far as self-employment is concerned. is that PayPal, after a certain amount of money, is going to send you a form telling you how much money you made. Now this isn't Twitch. Twitch does pay through PayPal, which, by the way, I will also mention. Talk to your CPA guy, tell him that this $10.99 Twitch sent me is already in this PayPal form. That we're not paying double taxes on something you don't have to, because it did almost happen to me. PayPal's gonna catch your ass. It's gonna say, here's your name, here's your bank account number, here's your address, and it's gonna send one of those forms to you, but it's also gonna send one of those forms to the government. Like, hey, by the way, did you know this person with this bank account is making this much money, and we haven't taken any taxes out. We took out our fees, but those are our fees, bro. Thanks for all the cash dinero. They don't take out taxes. Just like Twitch doesn't take out taxes. You have to save all those donations. You have to save a percentage of them, not all of them, excuse me. So just be really wary of that. And now that we're talking a little bit about PayPal, a little bit about the money you owe, I'm going to talk about tax write-offs. And some of these write-offs I wasn't even aware about, even today. But last year, one that came to mind, thanks to Law Renee and Brotato again, was Twitch subscribers. If you are subscribed to a channel on Twitch, you can write that off. It's considered advertisement. Notifications pop up in front of umpteen amount of viewers, and that is your advertisement. Am I telling you to subscribe to every person on Twitch? No, it's expensive. And it's important to know that that's not like, oh, you owe $15,000 to the IRS. Well, you subscribe to this channel for $4.99, so we're going to subtract $4.99 off of that. That's not how it works. Write-offs are only a percentage. You do not write off the exact amount that you're claiming, and you need to realize that. Another big ticket item here is your rent. Are you paying rent? Do you live by yourself? Is someone else paying your rent? If you pay rent by yourself, like me, I live in a 1-bedroom apartment, you can write off the area that you're streaming in. It is important to note that this area has some specifications. It needs to be its own room. Sometimes you can snake on by with a vanity wall or a green screen, but you can only write off the square footage that is your studio. That is your workspace, and it is considered your business. If you are splitting rent with someone else, you can still do this, but you can only claim half of your rent towards that square footage, and that is something you have to bring up to your CPA, and you need proof of you paying rent every month. And going on this whole stream room, writing off your stream room, your studio, you can also write off things like your electricity bill, internet. You know that 100 down, 50 up is expensive. You can write off your water. I know that I drink water, I go to the bathroom, I use water facilities in my studio, and you can also write off your cell phone. Have you ever made a business call on your cell phone? Hello, how's it going, Bike Man? Do you want to meet for dinner? And then you talk about your stream at dinner. There you go, done did. Write that off. If you're not paying any of those bills, if you have no proof that you're paying those bills, if you're paying your roommate cash, you can't write that off. You have no trace of it. And that, my friends, is why the digital era is a beautiful, beautiful thing. A secondary huge big item that you can write off as a streamer are your business trips. I started this vlog talking about PAX East. You can write off your airfare, you can write off your hotels. I make it a personal note because I do not know the legality and I prefer not to get in trouble for it. I separate all of my eating and my drinking expenses. If you've ever been to a convention, you know we drink. Us internet folk cannot interact with the general public without having some liquid courage in our system. Am I right? I'm totally right. I just make it my own personal note to not write off my alcohol. Every time I check out at a dinner or luncheon, breakfast, I always make sure that if I've had anything that has alcohol in it, I separate the alcohol off, I pay for it on my own personal card, and then the food goes to my business card. a percentage of that meal, as long as it was business oriented, can be written off. You're on a business trip, you're talking about your stream, you're talking about developers, you're talking about collaborating with someone, percentage of that can get written off. Something else that we should talk about, because we all do it, is we like to buy electronics. I don't know about you guys, but I've changed my stream desk about 3 times in the last 3 years. Probably more than that, maybe 4 times. You're constantly upgrading parts, games start getting bigger requirements, your i5 is no longer acceptable for streaming, for video editing, you're buying green screens, you're buying lights for the green screens, you're buying a new mic, you're buying a new headset. That stuff can be written off. Did you just buy a new AAA title? Are you playing it on stream? Write it off. $60? Nobody's paying you back for that $60. The company's sure not, so you might as well write it off on stream, because technically you're advertising for them. And technically, that game wouldn't be written off if you were playing it by yourself. It's really awkward. I just said that really awkwardly. So if you're playing a game on stream, write it off. And we're gonna move past this awkward moment. Now today, I had lunch with my bae and Mr. Happy. She's my bae, okay? I'm sorry. But he brought up a very, very important point that I didn't really touch on because I haven't done much. Giveaways. You can write your giveaways off. Are you giving away a $20 Steam card? Write it off. Do you have a new graphics card you're giving away? A new i7? What are you giving away? You can write it off. If, and only if, you paid for that. I'm sponsored by SteelSeries, and I'm lucky enough that they send me items to give away to my stream. I didn't pay for it in any way, shape, or form, and I cannot write off that $300 headset. I cannot write off that $200 keyboard. Like, you can't write that stuff off, and if you do, you could get in trouble. Tax fraud is a thing, guys. I don't look good in orange. I'm just not meant to be in prison. And last but not least, as far as your tax write-offs are concerned, advertising. I talked a little bit about it when we talked about subscribers, people you're subscribed to on Twitch. Advertising. When you go to a convention, you're buying business cards. If you're not buying business cards, why the hell are you not buying business cards? Your business cards are advertisement. Do you have keychains, lanyards, cool light-up, glow sticks, rave machines? I don't know what you're using to advertise your stream, but if you're using it, write it off. Why not? Be very careful with what you call advertisements, though. I mean, if you want to rent a plane to type out twitch.tv/unholy temptress in the sky, I guess technically I could write it off as advertisement, but you cannot write off campaigns where people are paying for your shirt. They're paying the money, you're not. You can't write that off, even though you're getting paid for it. And a company is taking a certain percentage off of that. You can't write that off still. You're not paying for it, you're just getting paid for it. And with that, guys, I've talked enough. I actually went over 4 minutes past my last vlog, which is impressive. Moral of the story, TLDR. I'm not going to PAX East, and I apologize. And while I'm apologizing, because it's a sign of weakness, I apologize for the super scummy Twitch tax bailout plan that's been on the top of my screen that some of you haven't understood. And I'm sorry that it looks really bad. It makes me feel scummy, and I ran into some trouble with the IRS last year that I've been trying to get out, and I've always known it's going to take me 2 to 3 years to finally bail myself out. But by golly, we're doing it slowly but surely. Each paycheck, they took money out, and each paycheck I got closer to the end goal. So just be very careful this year, guys. If you own a corporation of any kind, your taxes are due by March 15th. If you don't, you still have it until, what, is it April 15th? I think it's April 15th. Sometime around then. You guys have time. You need to save money. If you didn't this year, it's not the end of the world. They will work with you. They will set up a payment plan. Yes, you will be fined. Yes, you will collect interest. But they will work with you. Just don't avoid it. It's better to have lost money than to be arrested for tax fraud. And on that note, guys, I hope to see you all again. If you like this vlog, consider telling me I did a good job. Pat on the back. Please buy some video editing software. I don't want to watch you drink water, Kappa. If you didn't like this vlog, I've been streaming for 3 years. You could probably tell me anything, and I'd be like, you're right. I am a terrible fucking person with no soul. And it just rolls right off my back. But still, it's all about constructive criticism, and I want to know what you guys think. Thank you so much. I know it was lengthy. Jesus, I'm at 26 minutes. I'm out of here. You're awesome.